Hello everyone. So this is the extension of the previous video. Previous video was about the basic concepts of hydrograph. In continuation to this, we'll see some more concepts related to hydrograph. So as I have discussed, hydrograph is nothing but representation of runoff with respect to time. Runoff is nothing but, here if I represent in terms of system, so if catchment is your system and rainfall is an input to that system, then output will be runoff. If I talk about runoff in terms of input output, so to a given catchment, it is the response of the catchment to a given rainfall event. This response I am recording with time and then observing it and naming it as hydrograph. So hydrograph is nothing but a relation between discharge with respect to time, that how it is varying, whether it is increasing or it is like constant with respect to time, for how in what time I got how much peak. So that is what is all understood by hydrograph. So last video we said that okay, the area under hydrograph tells you about the volume of runoff. So here we can show, if we take a small strip for dt time and say you get a discharge q here. So if you want to know the area under this curve, so you will integrate this q dt. This is nothing but volume of runoff. How can I say volume? Because this is in volume per unit time and this is into time. So volume per unit time into time, I will get volume. Volume of what? This is made for runoff. So this is telling us volume of runoff on a given, it has been generated for a given catchment and under a given rainfall condition. So if I divide this volume of runoff by the catchment area, I will get the area of catchment, I will get the depth of runoff. So till here it is fine. Now I have talked about some different terminologies, that is, while representing this hydrograph, this is added to it. That means this is nothing but, many a times you will come across this notation, this is nothing but a hydrograph which is produced for effective rainfall. So what is that? We'll quickly have a look at that. Hydrograph, we all know that it is nothing but representation of intensity of rainfall versus time. So let's say I have different intensity. That representation with time is called hydrograph. This is hydrograph, this is hydrograph. So I say, let's say this is the constant infiltration index. So let's say this is the phi index. This is telling that above this only rainfall will produce runoff, below this there will be no runoff because all the water will go into infiltration. So let's say this is the area of hydrograph above the phi index. This represents runoff, or it is also called as effective rainfall because it is that rainfall which produces runoff. So I can say, if I take out this shaded area from the hydrograph, this shaded area, this is called as ERH, or effective rainfall hydrograph, or called excess rainfall hydrograph. So here, this I am assuming it to be constant with respect to time. Suppose I say this is constant with respect to time. This I have represented here, that d depth of runoff for t time. Due to this, what will be the hydrograph generated? Or due to this effective rainfall for t hours, like some rainfall event has occurred which has produced d depth of effective runoff, what will be the hydrograph produced because of that? So this is a typical notation of the hydrograph. It is always represented. Also, this is called my rising limb, this is called falling limb, or the recession limb. This is called the peak value, and this part is called crest segment because it contains the peak. Now this time for which hydrograph is produced, this is called time base up to here, up to the time I get runoff in the river. Now this runoff this what I have talked about is generally considered into two categories. One is called direct runoff, other is called base flow. So depending on that, I have two types of hydrographs. So total is called total runoff. So base flow is nothing but, now you know, for a catchment, if some rainfall event P is occurring on that catchment, some part of it will be infiltrated. Now where does this infiltrated water go? Ultimately it also has to reach a bigger water body, but it will slowly reach below the ground. So this part of water which is reaching the bigger, so here this part of water which is reaching the bigger water body below the surface of the earth after infiltration through the groundwater, through the pores of the soil, that part of water is called base flow. It is after a long time this water reaches the stream, but ultimately this will also reach the bigger water bodies such as streams or rivers. Whereas this water which is flowing over the land and then reaching the outlet, that is called overland flow or surface runoff, or it is also called as direct runoff. So why direct? Because it is the direct response of the catchment to rainfall, immediate response. This one, it will take a lot of time. So based on this only we say that if the river has some base flow all the time throughout the year, that river is called perennial. So why that flow is coming? How that river is having flow throughout the year? Because some base flow is always there. Based on that, we have divided our hydrographs into two categories, direct runoff hydrograph and the total runoff hydrograph, are also called as flood hydrograph. So here you can see I have drawn two hydrographs. So the hydrograph which is drawn for the total runoff, that is direct runoff plus here direct runoff plus base flow. Base flow is that water which is contributed in the river by groundwater. So always even before rainfall, some flow is there in the river, that is called base flow. If I subtract the base flow from the total runoff, I will get the direct runoff. So it will always start with 0, whereas this will have some base flow, so it will never start with 0. This is called flood hydrograph and this is called direct runoff hydrograph. So direct runoff hydrographs always start with 0 because we exclude the base flow in this. So based on this, there were two types of hydrograph. Now wherever you are asked to convert a DRH from FRH, always remember DRH to FRH. What you have to do? Add the base flow. So this is nothing but minus base flow. So what you have to do? Add the base flow. So I hope this one is clear. Now we'll move towards the components of hydrograph, how the shape of hydrograph is and how it is affected by different factors. So now quickly we'll see the components. We are going to discuss majorly the DRH. Since base flow, there are some techniques to measure, but again we can assume some constant value of base flow, say 20 meter per second or 30 meter per second depending on the situation. Now let's say I have a DRH. Whenever I say a DRH, you should remember it will always start with 0. Also this DRH is corresponding to some effective rainfall which has occurred. Please note, whatever I am saying and the way I am writing, this is nothing but a hydrograph resulted due to some effective rainfall which has occurred in an area for d hours, and let's say some x centimeter is the depth of that effective rainfall. Here on the same graph only I am superimposing this, and this is nothing but my hydrograph. So now there are some terminologies. This time for which this hydrograph is drawn, this time is called time base. So this total time is called time base of the hydrograph. This is called falling limb. Again, falling limb, why? Because rainfall has stopped after certain time, that's why I get this falling limb, else I'll continue to get the hydrograph. This part is called peak discharge, or I say Q peak. This is called rising limb. Now, the time that I take to reach the peak from the beginning of the runoff, this is the time when the runoff starts building up from 0 to here. Whatever time it takes to reach the peak, that is called time to peak. Also, you see here the time at which the rainfall in the catchment will be at its peak and the time I will get the peak runoff. There will be difference in that. This difference is called lag time. So I say from the center of the hydrograph to the centroid of the hydrograph. So both the centroids, this is called lag time. Why this lag time is occurring? This lag time is nothing but the time it takes to the time difference between the peak discharge and the peak rainfall. So you see, this is the lag time. Why it is occurring? Because it takes time for the water to reach all the water. Suppose I have a catchment. So by the time this water which is here reach, it will take some time. By the time maybe rainfall has stopped. So both the times will not be same. The time at which peak rainfall occurs and the time at which peak discharge, that time will not be same. Whatever is the time difference, that is called lag time. Now here, if you see the shape, this portion in which I get the peak, let's say if this is A, this is B, C, and then D. These 2 points are called inflection points because if you see, the shape of the curve changes. So from increasing to reaching at a constant value, and here from decreasing to a sharp decrease. So these B and C are called inflection points, just like we have inflection point in beams. So in the SFD and BMD we have inflection point. So the point where the curve, elastic curve changes its shape. So that is nothing but this. So this you see is nothing but components of hydrograph that we have discussed. Also, one more time is there, that is called time of concentration. Time of concentration is nothing but, say this is my catchment. So water is coming to this outlet after it has rained. Now all these, suppose this is a line, at this line all the water particles are taking 10 minutes to reach the outlet. Suppose I have another point where water is taking more time, length is more, so 20 minutes let's say. Let's say then like that I say this taking 1 hour. Let's say this is taking 2 hours. So you see, in 2 hours the entire catchment has reached the entire catchment has been contributing to reach the outlet. So water from the farthest point has reached the outlet in 2 hours. After that, this is the farthest point, right, from the outlet. So this is called time of concentration, that the time which the water particle will take to reach from the farthest point to the outlet. From the farthest point to the outlet, when the water will reach, I will get the peak discharge also. That is why peak discharge always is calculated based on time of concentration. So time of concentration is nothing but that time when the final particle, the particle which is at the farthest or the remotest point of the catchment, that will reach the outlet. So I hope this is clear. In the next video, we will be discussing the factors which can affect the shape. So on what factors, suppose the intensity of rainfall is varying, if it is intensity is high, or if say the slope is steep, how will it affect the shape of the hydrograph? And then we will discuss the unit hydrograph. So here this part of water which is reaching the bigger water body below the surface of the earth after infiltration through the groundwater, through the pores of the soil,